Sorry, the old model didn't burn. It then either looked to see if there's more BUSD value or more dogs value on the contract. If there was more BUSD value on the contract, it would then buy dogs, so there's an equal value on the contract, and then add that liquidity. If there was more dogs value on the contract, it would then sell a portion of those dogs that have accumulated, and then pair that liquidity. Now, I never want a situation where there's built-in sell pressure, and when you look at just the math of it, you're almost always going to have more trading volume of a single token than deposit fees on a platform over time. Yes, like initially you'll have larger deposit fees on the farm, but over time, eventually, most likely you'll see more dogs transaction volume than you'll see you know TVL being added on a consistent basis. This isn't set in stone, but this is what you would typically see in other projects. So we have changed this now where there are no dogs accumulating on the liquidity helper contract at all. How the dogs token operates now is there's a 3% swap for BUSD, which gets paid out to pig pen holders. There's a 3% burn on all transactions, and then an additional 3% burn only on selling. And then the liquidity helper contract is still adding liquidity, but the way it's working is only BUSD is being sent to it from deposit fees, and then once this BUSD hits a threshold, it then buys dogs and adds liquidity. So now, the way that it's currently designed and the way that we're implementing it, the liquidity helper contract can only buy dogs. It can only buy and add liquidity to dogs. Where the previous model, it was often selling dogs to create BUSD, so there was an equal amount of dogs and BUSD value on the contract to add liquidity. So this is huge because this means a ton more dogs are going to be burned. It's just written into the code that there's a 3% burn on every transaction and a 6% burn on selling. And that's it. No dogs accumulating that could be sold in the future. And the liquidity helper contract is only getting BUSD sent to it. And then once this threshold is hit, it just buys dogs with half the BUSD and adds liquidity. So that's huge, right? That makes that's going to make a big difference with the dog token, and just price appreciation and stability of the token. Now, the game, the way that we're looking at implementing it is 1% of the tax that would be associated with the burn on transactions, instead of being removed from circulation, completely through burning it, it's being sent to a game wallet, and then this game wallet acts as a Russian roulette. So essentially, you send dog tokens to this game address, and the game gives you a 1 in 6 chance of winning a prize back. 5 out of the 6 times, it burns the dog tokens that you send to it. 1 out of the 6 times, it sends you back a prize. And the amount of dog tokens you send to it are static, right? So it will be a low bid and a high bid. So, for example, 1 dog or 5 dogs. You send 1 dog, then you get the lower prize back. You send 5 dogs, you get the higher prize back. And we'll be utilizing Chainlink to do the randomization to determine who wins and who loses. Now, the cool part about this game of Russian roulette is you can add more bullets to increase your chance. And the way that works is by using a secondary token. So you can increase your odds by up to a 4 in 6 chance by using this secondary token. Kind of like the dogs token is a traditional game of Russian roulette, where it's a 1 in 6 odds, but you can add bullets to the chamber up to 4, and to increase your odds from 1 in 6 to 4 in 6. And when we run the numbers on this, it should create a ton more transaction volume, and it's going to be burning more dogs than it pays out, meaning that if we didn't implement the game at all, and that 1% that we're sending to the game wallet as reward, if we just burn that 1% instead, there would be less dogs burnt than using that 1% as a reward, and then having this game structure where you get a 1 in 6 chance of winning a prize, and this prize is significant when you win it, so it is worthwhile doing, and it's a fun little supporting contract game, and a nice, simple, elegant game that doesn't require any kind of major development, but it's unique, it's simple, it's going to be burning a ton of dogs, it's fun, it will increase our volume on dogs token, which means more BUSD being sent to the pig pen, which means more dogs being removed from circulation and burned, and which means that people can, it's another use case for dogs. And of course, this is being built in-house. And we've done our preliminary research on this system to determine that it is a positive thing to do, and it will be something worth doing for sure. Now, today and tomorrow, the task of one of my developers and myself, I'm going to work hand in hand with him, is to see exactly how we would implement it. And then it will be moved immediately to implementing it. So, with that said, we are on track, 100% on track. We're keeping the dogs crediting open to the end of the week, just because some people had confusion on whether they should be claiming their dogs and dog LPs and sending them in to get credited, and we don't want to have anybody miss out because there was any confusion or anything. Plus, the more dogs we get, the better, because it just means, like right now, we could probably remove 90% of liquidity, but the more liquidity we can remove, 99.999%, the better, right? Because that's just, all of that is going over to the new dogs token. Just like with pigs, all of it went over to pigs. So, all right, so let me just address the ape swap situation. So, with ape swap, as I told you, we were in the end stages of negotiation, right? Nothing was locked in, but we were in the end stages of negotiation. Now, as I told you guys, the product that that they were launching was not what I was primarily interested in. What I'm interested in is having a farm that is low risk, that we can earn a decent yield on the back end for our native tokens. That's what I'm interested in. And when we spoke with ApeSwap, first of all, they came to us for a partnership. They reached out to us for a partnership. We said that I told them I was open to it. We had 3 or 4 meetings where they essentially pitched us this product, which is a clone of Ohm, essentially. And I kind of told them, I was pretty much honest with them that we would do that because it doesn't hurt to implement that product. But what will help us more than anything is that we have farms and pools on their platform that we can earn a reasonable yield on, because what that does is allow us to earn yield on the back end on all the drip and dog LP tokens that are on our Animal Farm contracts. And that will increase the amount of BUSD we can pay out to the pig pen by a factor of millions of dollars every month. So when I initially told them this, they completely understood it. It made sense. I was speaking to the people that handle their partnerships and the project manager, and they understood it. It completely made sense. They saw what, first of all, in order to use the product on their platform, it would require people adding liquidity to their platform, and if people are going to be providing liquidity to their platform, they need to be rewarded for it. So there needs to be some farms and pools on there. So the sticky point was what this APY would be. And what I told them, which was extremely reasonable, is that we are going to get minimum $20 million worth of TVL on their platform if they provide a farm for us. The reason how I know that is because I already know what we could stake on the back end from Animal Farm, and it's greater than 20 million. So I knew we were going to get at least 20 million in there, but more likely between the dogs and drip, 80 to 100 million, if not more. And what I told them is we need to work something out. So at $20 million, there would be an APY of at least 50%. And the reason why I said this is because the way traditional farms work, right? Ours is an improvement, right? Animal Farm is different than this, but this is the way kind of the old model of farming work, projects that came before us. There's a specific amount of tokens that mint every block. They're allocated to a farm or to a pool. And then, depending on how diluted this farmer pool gets, determines the APY. So as the TVL on a farm increases, the APY decreases. And I needed to ensure that by the time we get 20 million on the farm, the APY will be at least 50% APY. Because I knew that likely we're going to get 2 or 3 times this, and that would take our APY down to 10-15%, which is on par, if not slightly less than the standard, right? So, and also, you have to consider that just from the initial talks about this partnership, we increased their engagement by several fold, and the amount of TVL we would be adding to their farms and pools was more than the total TVL that they had on all their farms and pools. So what we bring to the table, right, is equal to, if not significantly more than the value they're bringing to the table. And all I ask for is that we have an APY that is at least on par with industry standard, right? And they said that's fine, right? This is after 3 or 4 meetings. They completely understood it. They said, well, what about, would you be interested in maybe putting some dogs or drip towards a single asset banana staking pool? This way, if we're paying out in banana, at least people have incentive to stake that banana instead of just dump it. And I told them, yes, I would be open to putting a single asset banana staking pool or a banana drip staking pool or farm on our farm. And they were excited about it, right? As far as we left it, after 3 or 4 meetings, the project manager and the members that handle marketing and partnerships were 100% on board. They realized that we were providing at least as much value to them as they would be providing to us, and they were very excited about it. What they told me is they have a third party that determines their APY. So they use some service that acts as a third party that just kind of crunches the numbers in a vacuum to determine what the APY should be, not accounting for the fact that we'd be bringing on more TVL than their whole farm combined, not accounting for the fact that we increased their engagement by several fold just by saying we were, looking at a potential partnership, and all of the other factors, right? They're just crunching numbers in a vacuum. So I told them, okay, great. Everything's negotiable. Run it by them and get back to me. They're like, all right, we'll get back to you. Give us a day or two. I didn't hear back from them for like 4 or 5 days. And then, of course, when a potential partnership is on the table, you want to kind of gauge excitement. So you drop little hints here and there and let people know we're working on this to see if the community is excited about it. And because of this, everybody was going into the ApeSwap chat, creating excitement, doing their thing, which the ApeSwap devs should have been very happy about. As I said, their engagement increased by several folds. You can look at the numbers. You can look at the analytics. We gave them more engagement than they've had in all of 2022. So by a lot, like by several multiples.
100%.
Yeah, and then Bartertown, you were there for the negotiations the whole time, right? You saw that they were just as excited, if not more excited, than we were about the deal when we were in the meeting with them. Yeah, and then
everything was a green light in the conversation, basically.
Yeah, and then we're waiting for them to get back to us, and all of a sudden, the owner of ApeSwap writes, if you talk about a potential partnership with Drip, you will be muted. There's no relationship between Drip and ApeSwap, and some other negative thing, essentially killing all hype that I was trying to build for us, knowing that we have been in communication for the past we've had multiple meetings where we were in 100% agreement. As far as I was concerned, what we had on the table was something that they could, that was 100% reasonable, that would be very easy for them to greenlight. And that was the one small thing that we were waiting on that made up like 10% of the overall talks, and everything else was 100% agreed upon. Plus, they said that the numbers that we gave them, which was the last little bit that they had thrown by their third party, made absolute sense, and they're ready to go. And then the owner of ApeSwap does that, and it caught me off guard because I was waiting for them to just give me the green light. So anyways, when I saw that, I asked what was going on, and they essentially told me that they ran it by this third party, and they don't think they would be able to hit those numbers we asked for. And basically I told them, well, even if that was the case, you could have just gave me a counter offer and we could have moved forward from that. That was completely out of the blue why he would just write that and say he's muting Drip people out. I mean, that the only thing I can think why he would do that is that his team below him, which they have like 25 people working for them, so I don't know how that works, but anyways, the people that I was in communication with probably did a bad job of explaining the benefit of working with us, and the owner was probably kind of detached from what was going on as far as his group, his project in general, and just the specific deal, and just saw people, what he probably looked at as shilling Drip in their chat, and reacted out of emotion there, kind of jumped the gun. But but that made at that point that makes it kind of difficult to work with them. And as far as I'm concerned, the product that we were going to be utilizing under them um, was not what I was interested in, right? Because it's an ohm clone. Uh, I think it would create some short-term excitement, but it doesn't hurt us. But I don't think it's going to be a big deal in the big picture, especially even just regarding Ape Swap. But what was exciting to me was the APY that we could generate. Now we have multiple other options that we're in talks with about getting these farms and pools, and we have people that have already agreed to it. So it's just a matter of negotiating the best deal. And as I said previously, I'm not in this to pump up some other projects. I'm in this to negotiate the best deals for us. And you know, you're gonna look at the big picture here, where we get our deal negotiated with the 50% APY on 20 million. That's going to be an extra $40+ million in BUSD we're able to pay out, and that's and due to the amount of capital we're providing, that's on par with industry standards. So that's not even like asking for more than what we would expect, and I think it was basically poor management on ApeSwap's part and poor communication between the team and having too many chefs in the kitchen that kind of fumbled this. But regardless, there's multiple other low-risk farms and decks, including PancakeSwap, that we're in talks with to be able to have these farms and pools. And the reason why we were willing to go with ApeSwap is because they were essentially agreeing to everything we were asking for. And as far as the communication between us were going, it was green lights all the way. And this is why we were completely caught off guard. But regardless, what's important is that we find a place to earn yield on our native assets, and we do have the ability to do that. And I really don't care who it comes from, as long as we handle the security side of it to ensure our capital is protected and the APY we're getting is worthwhile. That's all I care about, and that's what we will achieve. Now, I brought this up a little bit earlier, but now there's twice the amount of people in here. I brought on a project manager who is helping us essentially take all of the tasks we need done, breaking them into subtasks, putting deadlines in all of them, assigning each subtask to one of our developers, and essentially ensuring that everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing, what timeline they have to do it, breaking it down and kind of micromanaging it to ensure that we're working at optimal efficiency. And we've been we put this we brought him on and started really working on this last week, and I can tell you guys it made a huge difference. It's already making a huge difference as far as our ability to get things done and just really knock out tasks like crazy here. Because we have an extremely skilled team. It's just about everybody needs to know exactly what they need to do, and kind of just make sure that people are not just kind of left to, all right, you got to get this finished in 2 weeks, or you got to get this thing finished in a month. No, it's this thing needs to get finished in the month. What are all the tasks that are required to get this finished? What is required to do these tasks? So break it down into subtasks, and then assign deadlines on every single subtask. So it's every day someone knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing on that day, and whether they're ahead of schedule or behind schedule. And that's huge. This is something that you see in more traditional fintech companies that really isn't being applied to crypto and DeFi, except for maybe at the very top level, like the top 10 projects, really. And I'm trying to take us there, right? So I want to meet our obligations that we've already laid on the table as far as Animal Farm and Drip. And then I want to take every single thing we do in the future, right? Everything we're building essentially after this, which are none of these things I want to build after are tokens or anything regarding tokens. I want to build products and services that both add use case and utility to our existing projects and to the space as a whole, and then work out cash flows from these models that go back and support our existing tokens. And we're talking about gaming, lending, privacy, and insurance, right? And I want to ensure that we are, our team is sufficiently scaled and we're operating at peak efficiency. So when we do this, we are operating at a level that's above all our competitors, right? And I'm not just talking about the other, like clones of our projects or whatever. I'm talking about top 100 projects in the space. So to do this, right, I have a assistant that I brought on, a project manager who is doing great work already, and I'm currently interviewing various fintech marketing firms that work with the best finance or fintech companies in the world, and I'm interviewing them because we have kind of like not maxed out, but we can get on DApp Radar, we can get on Dex Tools, we can get on these listing sites. I want to start reaching marketing opportunities that we don't currently have access to, and I want to get a professional marketing team to look at our budget and use our budget as efficiently as possible, opening up doors that we currently don't have access to, and taking advantage of the platforms that we do have access to most efficiently. And I'm not a professional marketer. I've done a lot as far as community marketing, right? Doing interviews, AMAs, we have got ads up and all that, but I know we can take it to a higher level. And that's what my focus is right now. So we've made a lot of major improvements to our team, and I'm working right now to do more as far as the marketing side. So when we're ready to go with Animal Farm and we're ready to go with the next developments to come, such as Scratchy, such as a game that I've been working on for a long time, but we're ready to go with it. And by end of year, I would like to get some sort of lending model up to ensure when we push these, it's not only reaching our community, right? For Scratchy, for example, the current model, and someone actually brought this up in here, and I said I would look into it. And the cool thing is that I had someone reach out to me that was on the same wavelength as someone that mentioned this previously. But with Scratchy, the idea is to use it as a whitelisting service, or sorry, a white label service, where essentially it's a model that can be applied to many different dev teams, and we're going to use Animal Farm and Drip as the proof, the proof of function, you could call it, or the a proof of a working model, and then start shopping it to other dev teams that want to have this awesome gaming model, this awesome scratch ticket model that we know works, and every other DeFi project that picks it up is adding to the cash flow, which is paid out in both revenue sharing, because there's a revenue sharing model with Scratchy, but also a buyback model that is buying back our native assets. So this was the current idea going into it. But since then, I had someone reach out and say, what do you think about trying to bring this model to online casinos? And that wasn't something I thought of initially, but it makes so much sense. And I put that down in my notes. All right, this is something that will make a big difference. I need to, when we're ready to go, start reaching out to these online casinos. Since that happened, a kind of moment of serendipity happened where one of the people who I've been working with, who sold a company for billions of dollars several years ago, he went on to start another company, which ended up being a major success. His partner went on to essentially buy out all of the major casinos, online casinos, especially or specifically casinos that allowed crypto deposits. And he took a lot of the existing popular online casinos and added a crypto on-ramp for them. And his partner reached out to me and let me know that he was interested in getting this model in his casinos. And this is huge because the Scratchy model has revenue sharing. So, and these casinos have licensing to deal with direct, fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. So, I believe this project alone has the ability to be the largest thing we've ever done. And at its core, it's supporting our native assets, because on any platform that these tickets are bought on, for example, you buy the tickets on the Drip platform, 20% of all the BNB used by those tickets go to buying back Drip and sending it to the tax vault. Any tickets that are bought on the Animal Farm platform, 20% of that goes to buying the dog and pigs and sending them to a burn address. The dogs to a burn address. The pigs will be used as another pig's reward cash flow to the pig pen, right? All of the other DeFi projects that we shop this to, they will have a buyback model for their own token, which is one of the reasons why they would want to implement it, meaning 20% of all the BNB used to buy the tickets, which are themed after their project, hosted on their platform, goes to buy their native asset, but 15% of all the BNB goes back to our revenue sharing model. So it supports all platforms that host these tickets, specifically our native platforms, because people are going to be earning through the staking of these tickets, NFTs, right? The tickets are represented by NFTs, to earn a share of all this BNB. 15% of all BNB that is used to buy tickets will be paid out to people who are staking these NFTs. So this is something that I feel has the ability to be one of the biggest things in DeFi, and I want to ensure that we have a properly scaled team and a team that's running as efficient as possible to really make the most of it. And this is why I brought on a project manager. This is why I brought on an assistant to help me, field partnership requests, handle listings, handle a lot of the stuff that I was spending a lot of my time on, instead of doing interviews, working on my overall vision, thinking of the next big thing we're going to do. So, since last week, we've been, working with these new team members, and it's made a huge difference. And I know that when we bring on the right marketing firm. I think that's kind of the last small thing, right? Because I feel like if we had any kind of weaknesses, right, it would be kind of organizational issues where um, where we brought on a new developer. We have BB who's been working with us for a long time, but he needed to take a break. We were kind of passing over half done work that BB started to a new developer. Of course, I'm working on everything, and that causes delays, and that causes small issues, right? Where that has been 100% worked out by bringing on a project manager. BB is 100% back in the game now. Our other developer that we brought on, who was a former quality control, worker at Certic, he's fully on board. He's fully invested in what we're doing. Moving forward. So our organizational and just small kind of growing pain issues, I feel is we've solved that, and that is operating better than ever. And then I would say taking our marketing to the next level, and that is what I'm doing right now, interviewing marketing firms, right? So it's not going to be we're hiring a marketing firm to just take the whatever percentage we're collecting for marketing fees and just giving that all to them. That's not the way it's going to work. But we're going to contract out a firm to help us better manage our capital for marketing and open up doors to platforms and forms of marketing that we don't currently have access to, because there's a way bigger target than what current DeFi projects are focused on. And working with one of the major fintech marketing firms has the network and the ability and the experience to exploit those avenues. So this is something that I'm putting a lot of work into, and I'm very excited about. The UI for the farms and pools is complete. The one last thing we're wrapping up right now, which we have a deadline of by the end of the week, is the Drip Garden, the new Drip Garden UI, and a UI that allows people to buy our native assets and add liquidity to our native assets without ever leaving our site. That's something that the new Farms and Pools UI is finished. We're wrapping up the UI bits that I just mentioned, and we're going to push those all at once. And we're looking to get that done, completed by the end of the week. Then we'll probably do some testing over the weekend and get that up next week, right? Early next week. The MasterChef contracts are virtually finished. We're working on this game, right? So how the next 2 days, me and Sans are going to be putting our full focus into how we're going to implement this game, because we've already done the research to determine that it is definitely worthwhile doing. And then we're going right into implementing the game. So the game will be ready to go when we launch the Farms and Pools. This isn't something that's going to be coming after. It's something that is going to be ready to go right at launch. And then after we have all of this worked out, right, which we should have done by end of week, then we just need to think, what mechanism can we add to ensure that the dogs token is not going to be credited to the circulating supply. So there will just be a ton of dogs all, in people's wallets. And how can we reward people so they feel good about the fact that they feel good about the way that their dogs were credited. So we're at the end stages of this. By the end of next week, I have no doubt that we'll be essentially ready to go. We'll be talking about the day that we'll be going live and preparing for that. And that's where we're at right now. So I'm doing a ton of work behind the scenes to make sure that we're working as efficiently as possible. And when we go live, we're in a position to really push this thing hard. And there's a couple, bits of development that are being done in the background, such as Scratchy. And we're also looking at what the next big thing we're going to do after Scratchy that will support our existing projects. And what I'm thinking about now is it will be a game, but not a game like the dogs game I'm talking about here, where it's just a simple but elegant and unique game. I'm talking about a high-end game, something that is something that is I think going to set the new standard for DeFi gaming, right? Something that is fun, that is well balanced, that people will love playing, but also you'll be able to earn significant value from playing. And I've kind of said this to my team and people that know me. I'm not interested in doing so instead of talking about what I'm not interested in doing, let me just talk about what I am interested in doing. I'm interested in building use cases that are so undeniably strong as far as their fundamental value that they're just undeniable, such as a lending model that is a peer-to-peer lending model that is just above and beyond anything we have in the space. That is something that no one can deny that adds huge fundamental value to the space, right? Such as an insurance model that acts kind of as a FDIC insurance model that can insure other major platforms as well as Animal Farm and Drip. Something like this, right? A game that's just well above any of the existing DeFi games. There's something that's extremely fun to play, that you're earning yield on, that people that aren't even involved in DeFi will want to play because it's that fun, that engaging, but also you're earning on it. These are the kinds of use cases that I feel have fundamental value, and that we already have all the layer 1 solutions we need. We have all the layer 2 solutions we need. We need people to build things with fundamental value on these platforms. And I feel like some of the things I've built in the past, although I'm proud of everything I've built in the past, have been, I've built them due to the demand of the community wanting a kind of high yield, hyper compounding platform, and they serve their role. And I think if you can then provide fundamental use cases through supporting contracts for them, they can really be taken to the next level. But we have those already. So what I'm interested in doing now is I'm not interested in doing any more, hyper compounding type of contracts, no more, nothing like that. I just want to build things that are just, so undeniably solid that even the biggest critics in the space that want to call everything that's a Ponzi, that's a pyramid, they can't even deny the value, right? So that's really where my focus is. And then having the marketing team and the development team that's just working all hands on deck to make sure we're working as efficiently as possible, because we have the network, we have the capital, we have the community, and we have the ideas, and we have the developers, extremely skilled developers, and and I'm just so excited about putting in the work. So that's where we are right now. I have very little doubt that when Animal Farm goes live and it's operating on all cylinders, the amount of BUSD will be generating to the pig pen will make everybody very, very happy that and pleased that they decided to be compounding and adding to their position in the pig pen. And right now, we have several very, very good products for the pig token, but really it's an incomplete model without all of the rest of the contracts that really raise all ships and make it a full ecosystem. And and I have confidence that when we have this full working ecosystem, the project is going to be doing very well, and it's going to work as designed, especially with the improvements that we're making, not just to the team and everything, but to the actual contracts themselves, and to the token and the ecosystem themselves. So people, people in crypto, but markets in general, but especially crypto, have trouble making investments based on future value. And they almost always buy based on hype. And when you buy based on hype, you're almost always buying the top. And that's what happens. And then there's a correction, because the people that bought based on value, they're already in, and they already have big positions, and they're ready to take a little bit of profit when that hype comes in. And now is the time, in my opinion, where people who know how to recognize future value increase their position, so you're in a place to exploit that value when the full ecosystem is working as designed. And of course, you guys know that with a lot of other projects, the issue with DeFi and crypto is that a lot of times a development team will launch a token and then make all of these promises about things that they'll build. We'll build a farm, we'll build an NFT marketplace, we'll build all this stuff, and that stuff never comes. But I think the whole community knows, and you guys are aware, that when we say we're going to build something, it gets built. And I don't think anybody has the doubt that this farm is going to be going live in a couple of weeks, and this farm will be live and will be functional. So it's an easy play, right? In my opinion, it's an easy play. Of course, we're in it's a tough market right now, but as I've said previously, I see 26K being the bottom of Bitcoin. I posted a chart. Let me see. I posted a chart a while back, and I'll post another one just to show that what I was saying played out. I was saying that 26K would be the bottom, and that we have this major wedge forming. And I gave my analysis to why I think 26K is the bottom, and you see what happened here, right? We're making some nice moves up, and it appears that we have put in a bottom here. And I think that there's a good chance that we'll range around here for a while, but that's fine, right? Ranging is fine. That's when people who are smart investors accumulate their position, and we have so much, that's being done right now, and so much improvements to the team that, and just to the contracts, that I feel better than ever that the products that we will be launching moving forward are going to be more successful and deployed in a more optimal way and marketed in a better way than anything we've ever done by far. And the primary goal is for these products that we're launching to provide use cases and cash flows for our existing tokens. Even that dogs game that I'm talking about will require a secondary token. The ammo token, as I was saying, it's a Russian roulette. You get a 1 in 6 chance, but you can add bullets to make it up to a 4 in 6 chance of winning the prize. These bullets are represented by a secondary token, and we're going to use one of our existing tokens to do this. So, you know, people will see. Like, I don't want to leak what token it's going to be yet because people will rush in and it'll be known in time. But there's a lot of exciting things coming, and I'm excited. Whenever you have a major correction in the market, that's when the naysayers come in. That's when there's a lot of FUD. This is typical. I've been in crypto since 2012. I was trading traditional markets before 2012. I've been trading since high school, since I was in high school. So I've lived through a lot of these cycles. They don't faze me, right? I just, in bear markets, when people want to be naysayers, when everybody has something negative to say, that's when you build. You just keep working and working and working. And then when the bull market comes, that's when you reap the rewards of it. And as an investor, you want to be accumulating in these times. So when better market conditions come, and when new use cases, products, and service comes for the assets you're holding, irregardless of market conditions, you're the one that's benefiting from it, not the one that's buying tops because of the hype that's associated with this new product or market conditions. So I have 2 interviews coming up. I have an interview with BSC News. They're going to be writing some articles about our products, and I have an interview with a major promoter that we're scheduling right now. So that'll be announced soon. I'm just doing a ton of work behind the scenes, but the main goal is to scale my team, which we've already done the majority of that, in a way where I can be spending all of my time working on our vision and doing things like direct marketing, doing interviews, stuff like that, and lead the development team, and spending less time micromanaging, handling things like listings and stuff like that, which is why I bought an assistant and a project manager. So, and we brought on a secondary dev recently. We did that about 3 months ago. He's working great. BB needed to take a break, which we talked about previously. He's back, in full force, more motivated than ever. So, we're just ready to get this done. I have a meeting tomorrow with about Scratchy, so I'll have a bit more information about that coming up soon. And as far as like the ape swap thing, right? All I care about is that we find a place where we can earn yield on our native assets at low risk on the back end. All I care about. We have multiple options that we can take advantage of. Some that are even bigger than ApeSwap. The reason why we were going to go with ApeSwap is because they already approached us for a different product, which I don't really care whether we were part of or not. But I saw that as a great foot in the door where we could move on from there. And I think they I think they probably just have too many chefs in the kitchen or whatever their deal is. But anyways, it's not my issue. What I care about is negotiating the best deals for us. That's what we're doing. So, that's it. I'm gonna be in. Text chat, and I'll be around. I want to schedule an AMA, right? Because I have some stuff that I need to do, right? I have today and tomorrow are allocated to working out how these this dog game is going to be implemented. So I want to get to that, right? My next 2 days are really booked on doing that. But we will be scheduling an AMA coming up soon in the next few days, and we'll open up the chat and we'll allow people to submit questions to the AMA. But for now, I want to get right back to work, because I want to have, essentially by the end of next week, the new UI up, the crediting finished, and everything ready to go. So the following week we can go live with it. And the pigs crediting, right? As people know, the something like less than 2% of the pig supply still needs to be credited. BB right now, so I'm kind of getting into some behind the scenes stuff, which may be too much information. But anyways, BB, what his assigned tasks are right now is to finish preparing the MasterChef contracts, which his deadline is tomorrow to be finished, and then work with Sans to prepare the pigs contract. To prepare the pigs crediting. So all that requires is just to go over the numbers one more time, and that is assigned from Wednesday to Friday. So that will likely get done on Friday or maybe the following Monday. But I'll let people know as soon as all of that is 100% finished, right? But we're taking one thing at a time by design, right? So everybody knows exactly what we're doing, and we're just working very efficiently right now. So other than that, guys, I'm gonna pop off. I'll be in the text chat, all week, right? So thanks for joining us. Got a lot going on. Happy that you guys all joined us, and that's it. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, one more thing. So the way that we are, so people notice that we just sent 5,000 drip to the drip tax vault. This came from fees on Animal Farm when people staked drip BUSD, right? And we're adjusting the way that the fee is collected on the farm. So instead of collecting 4% up front or 6% up front, we're splitting it. 2% deposit, 2% withdrawal. 3% deposit, 3% withdrawal. And with drip, we're going to make it 1% deposit, 1% withdrawal. This effectively makes next to no impact on any individual. It creates more incentive to stay staked longer. And it's going to effectively double the amount of drip that is being sent to the tax vault from the farm. And this will make a huge difference, because in just the month and a half, we increased the amount of drip in the vault by 10%. Now, if we double this, and it's working for longer than a month, then this will be a regular replenishing flow to the tax vault, which is something that I feel is relatively important, right? Now, really where the drip is, as long as it's locked up, doesn't really matter whether it's in the tax vault or in the drip garden. But if you can have the tax vault being regularly replenished, that is a good thing. So that's another thing that I see people asking about that we are doing, we're handling. So that's it, guys. Got a lot of other things I could bring up, but I want to get to work so we can get all of these things ready to go ASAP. So thanks for joining me. I'm gonna sign off now.